Who be Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Make we sabi the man wey dey behind the headlines. Who is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Understanding the man beyond the headlines. In every generation, certain individuals emerge whose voices refuse to be ignored. They provoke admiration, anger, loyalty, and fear, sometimes all at once. History teaches us that such individuals are rarely understood in their own time. Instead, they are defined by headlines, labels, and simplified narratives that often fail to capture the full human story. Today, we begin a 30-day educational series that examines the personality and vision of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, not through slogans or propaganda, but through historical context, leadership analysis, and comparative reflection. Our aim is not to tell you what to think, but to provide the tools to think more deeply. To some, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu represents a voice for marginalized people and a symbol of resistance. To others, he is seen as confrontational, controversial, or destabilizing. These opposing views are not new. In fact, history shows us that almost every major freedom fighter was once viewed in sharply divided ways. So who is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Beyond the headlines. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu emerged into public consciousness primarily through broadcast media, particularly Radio Biafra. Unlike traditional political leaders who rise through elections or party structures, Kanu rose through communication, ideology, and emotional connection with listeners, especially within the Igbo diaspora and disaffected youth. This method of emergence is important. Throughout history, leaders who bypass established political systems are often viewed as threats. Consider figures like Thomas Paine, whose pamphlets fueled the American Revolution, or Patrice Lumumba, whose speeches ignited Pan-African consciousness. They were not initially powerful because of institutions, but because of ideas. Kanu's early messaging focused on historical grievances, identity, and self-determination. His tone was passionate, emotional, and uncompromising. For supporters, this represented honesty. For critics, it appeared inflammatory. Both interpretations coexist, and both deserve examination. One of the most frequently discussed aspects of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's personality is fearlessness. Fearlessness in leadership is a double-edged sword. It inspires followers, but often alarms authorities. History offers many parallels. Malcolm X was once described as too radical, too angry, too dangerous. Nelson Mandela, before his imprisonment, openly supported armed resistance and was labeled a terrorist by powerful governments. Jomo Kenyatta and Kwame Nkrumah were both imprisoned or exiled before later being celebrated. Fearlessness often comes with intensity, and intensity often comes with consequences. Kanu's communication style does not seek approval. He does not soften his words to attract consensus. This has made him a polarizing figure. But polarization itself is not new in liberation movements. In fact, it is often unavoidable when deeply rooted grievances are involved. The critical question is not whether fearlessness is good or bad, but whether it is strategic, sustainable, and responsible. Another important dimension of understanding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is symbolism. Over time, many leaders stop being viewed merely as individuals and begin to represent larger ideas. When this happens, public perception shifts dramatically. Kanu has become, for many supporters, a symbol of historical injustice, identity loss, and unfulfilled promises of equality within Nigeria. When a person becomes symbolic, Criticism of them is often perceived as criticism of the entire cause they represent. This phenomenon is not unique. Che Guevara, long after his death, remains more symbol than man. Steve Biko became a symbol of Black consciousness in South Africa. Symbolism strengthens movements, but it also reduces room for nuance. When leaders become symbols, dialogue becomes harder, emotions intensify, and compromise becomes politically dangerous. At the center of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's message is the principle of self-determination. This concept is enshrined in international law and has been invoked by numerous groups worldwide. Self-determination does not automatically mean separation. At its core, it refers to a people's right to decide their political future freely, without coercion or systemic marginalization. Throughout history, self-determination movements have taken different paths. Some resulted in independence, such as Eritrea. Others led to restructuring within existing states. Some collapsed under internal divisions or external pressure. Kanu's articulation of self-determination is rooted in historical memory, particularly the legacy of the Biafran War. Whether one agrees with his conclusions or not, understanding his vision requires acknowledging how collective trauma shapes political consciousness. No discussion of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is complete without addressing controversy and state response. Governments by nature prioritize stability and control. When a movement challenges territorial integrity or national narratives, confrontation becomes likely. Historically, states often respond to dissent with legal, military, or propaganda measures. This does not automatically make the state wrong or the dissenter right, but it does highlight a recurring pattern in political history. Imprisonment, surveillance, and restrictions have rarely erased movements entirely. In many cases, they strengthen the symbolic power of the leader involved. This raises a difficult but important question. Does repression resolve underlying grievances or merely postpone them? One of the biggest challenges in discussing figures like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is emotional attachment, both positive and negative. Supporters may feel personal loyalty, critics may feel fear or resentment. Both emotions can cloud analysis. History demands distance. To understand any freedom figure properly, we must separate the individual from the movement, the message from the delivery, the intentions from the outcomes. This does not mean avoiding moral judgment, it means grounding judgment in facts, context, and historical comparison rather than impulse. History offers 3 consistent lessons about controversial freedom figures. 1. They are rarely understood in their own time. 2. They force societies to confront uncomfortable truths. 3. Their legacy is often decided decades later. Some are ultimately celebrated, others are criticized even in retrospect. Many fall somewhere in between. What matters most is not blind loyalty or blind rejection, but informed understanding. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not just a man, he is a reflection of unresolved questions about identity, justice, belonging, and governance. Whether one supports or opposes his ideas, ignoring the conditions that gave rise to his popularity would be a mistake. As we continue this 30-day series, we will compare his personality and vision with past and present freedom fighters, explore successes and failures, and examine what history can teach us about leadership, sacrifice, and responsibility. So today, we leave you with this question. Does history judge freedom fighters by their tone or by the injustices they refused to ignore? We must talk about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu every day to keep him in the consciousness of all who truly care and love him and Biafra until absolute freedom is finally achieved.
sooner than later, to the glory of God Almighty. Stay tuned and see you on the next episode. All hail Biafra.